Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the House of Transit. Today, we're looking at the start of Caltrain's new electrified service. I've waited a long time for this, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new schedule as well as the new trains right next to me. I'm very excited for this, so let's jump aboard.
Before discussing the new schedule, service pattern, and new trains, let's discuss what CalMod is. So CalMod is the project to electrify Caltrain, and it has been in the works for over 2 decades. The project got the green light in 2017 after a long planning process, plagued by lawsuits from the town of Atherton and funding delays from the Trump administration. Once all the necessary approval and funding was secured, construction started in 2017, and it took 7 whole years to complete, and is about $500 million over budget for a variety of reasons. Despite the numerous obstacles CalMod has faced over the years, the project is done and the hard launch has finally come. Caltrain released its new electric service schedule sometime in mid-August, and there are lots of changes compared to the old schedules. This new schedule consists of far fewer service patterns compared to the old schedules, and notably, more stations are served by more trains. This is thanks to the faster acceleration, which allows for much quicker travel times compared to the old diesel trains. On weekdays, there are 3 main service patterns. Express, shown in red, previously known as the Baby Bullet service, scheduled at 59 minutes. Limited, which is shown in blue, scheduled at 69 minutes. And locals, shown in white, scheduled at 77 minutes. The weekend travel times are all locals, and they're all supposed to take around 77 to 79 minutes. Also worth noting is the fact that this vaguely makes up the colors of the American flag, so brownie points for patriotism. On a more serious note, Caltrain is still using the very nonsensical and user-unfriendly train numbering system, when it could have swapped out that style of wayfinding for something much more simple, clear, and direct, like what everyone else, including commuter railways in the US, use. Let me know if you'd like me to make a more in-depth video about Caltrain's wayfinding and how to fix it. As shown by the schedule, most stations in the South Bay, aka south of Redwood City, will receive a modest service increase, with up to 3 trains per hour into peak instead of 2 before this change. The same thing will happen at South San Francisco, San Mateo Station, and 22nd Street Station in San Francisco.
Now that we've reviewed the new timetable, let's go ahead and check out the new trains. No, not that one. We'll see them later.
Now that we're on board, let's cover the new features in this train, as there are a lot to cover. For one, I believe that one of the biggest appreciated factors is the fact that there are sockets just right below the seats, right here. This makes it a lot easier if you're, say, doing a phone call or trying to get work done on the train. And on top of that, there's Wi-Fi on board, which again will help if you're calling. So just some great quality of life features have been added on board. Now obviously there's some issues with cell signal and locational data not being able to be used, given that these trains are Faraday box effectively, but regardless, those are being fixed as we speak. Now, the seats are not actually that bad. Some people said they're less comfortable than the old ones, and while I do agree, they're not nearly as bad as people make them out to be. Another great feature behind me is new information screens. Now, these will tell you which station is next and what services you might connect to. Now, I don't think that these new information screens are perfect by any means, as they don't tell you what specific bus lines or light rail lines or BART lines you might be connecting to, for example. However, at the very least, it gives you an idea of the next station and where you're going to be going, which is, again, massive upgrade over the old trains.
Something that's extremely noticeable about these new trains is just how smooth they are, especially compared to the old gallery cars. I will demonstrate a clip of the new gallery car trains starting about now.
I think this would be greatly appreciated, especially for those who might get motion sickness because of the constant swaying that the old trains used to have. Some other pros about this train include how clean they are. Now obviously they're new, so of course they're going to be clean, but I really do appreciate the fact that the floors are not carpeted, unlike the old trains, in which case the carpet might have been a bit disgusting, especially if someone may have gotten drunk and decided to barf. So not having that there is to make it a lot easier to clean and will mean that there is not that much disgusting things that might be stuck there.
Now approaching.
Thanks again, announcements. And one more thing is the fact that there is no pollution from these trains. Other than perhaps the noises that you're hearing around me, there is no toxic pollutions coming from a locomotive, just like before in the old trains, where someone who might be sitting at the front seat might be subjected to breathing in potentially, actually very dangerous, diesel fumes, which could be potentially catastrophic if, say, you have asthma. So not having that pollution is obviously massive thumbs up, and I really, really greatly appreciate that. One more thing before we get out of the train. Let's take a look at the toilets.
All EMUs have a single bathroom per train, compared to 2 or more on the old diesel-hauled trains. The door is locked using a small red latch. It was clean, spacious, and functional, with plenty of useful features, including a baby changing table. The toilets were working well, and so is the soap dispenser and faucet.
Obviously, it'd be remiss to note that these EMUs are perfect. Indeed, they do have their flaws, albeit they are minor compared to positives listed. Slow closing doors are indeed a problem. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is wrong with the slow doors? Well, it mainly has to do with the amount of time the train has to spend at the station opening and closing the doors, which can add to travel time and perhaps even take away a lot of the time advantages due to the faster acceleration that these new EMUs have, which can be a serious operational concern. Well, now that I'm outside the train, we can feel a little bit louder. And now we can show you the really slow closed door times of the new trains. Now, something that you might notice about these new trains is that they're 7 cars long. Now, this isn't actually a bad idea. There is absolutely merit to having them as long as they are, namely to handle all the peak crowds that Caltrain predicted would take the train before the bad thing happened. Obviously, it did happen, and it may have foiled that plan. But there is another disadvantage that these new trains have with regards to being so long, namely in energy efficiency and crewing requirements. Now, this doesn't sound like a big deal to the rider, and to us riders, we probably don't notice it all that much. But this can have some serious implications on operational costs, namely with the amount of electricity that has to be sucked from the overhead wires and with the amount of crew that needs to be on a train. If Caltrain had purchased, say, 4-car trains that could be coupled together during peak times, or just at least a mix of both 8 or as well as 4-car trains that could be coupled up later during when it's needed, they could save on energy and crewing costs, which could significantly help with the current operational deficits that the system has right now. Regardless of some of the issues that may have been mentioned, the new electric trains are such a massive improvement over the old diesel trains, and I could not be more excited for them to go into service. With that being said, this is the House of Transit, signing off.